go. Let's go out to the kennel. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Final score, Santa Clara. 103. They dropped 103 points and beat Gonzaga 103-99. Tyree Bryan have a night. He had 7 3-pointers, 35 points. It's a huge win for the Broncos, but Gonzaga has dropped back-to-back WCC games. They lost to Oregon State. They lose tonight, 103-99. The Zags are 14-6. Rob, should they be panicking a little bit right now in Spokane? Should they be panicking?
I think you're getting pretty close to the panic meter here. What's their best win this season right now? Baylor. They beat Baylor by 687 points, and Baylor does not look like a normal Baylor. They won at San Diego State, and San Diego State is now 4-3 in the Mountain West. They just lost at home to UNLV. You beat Indiana on a neutral. No one gives a damn about that anymore, right? Like, congratulations, you beat Washington State, right? Arizona State, who might be at the bottom of the Big 12. Like, I think you're kind of inching towards the territory where you don't want to be for Gonzaga, right? And I don't think that means out of the tournament, barring, like, let's say you lose at Portland on next Saturday. Like, then we might need to have a conversation about potentially being out of the tournament. But you're like inching close to 6-7 seed kind of a range, and that's not where you want to be when you're in this Gonzaga team. I don't think they really guard anywhere near well enough. I thought that they would be much better on that end of the floor. And I think that what happened, Goodman, you might have called this early, right? I think what might have happened is, since they had all of these pieces come back, when you're dealing with all these new teams early in the year and you kind of have everything solidified, you start a little bit better. And now that other teams are catching up, like, surprise, there's really not as much talent on this Gonzaga team as we maybe thought. So they're going to have to turn some things around, because St. Mary's is at the top of the WCC right now, and they look loaded.
24 straight NCAA tournament appearances by Mark Few. I don't think that's going to end, guys. But again, like you said, their defense just isn't very good, and their talent level overall, it's good, but it's not great. They don't have any pros. You're not looking at this team being like, hey, I don't know where the pro is. I think they got a lot of good college players and not even great college players. And when they had to bring in, Battle, it kind of said a little bit about where the program's at right now, that they needed him. I think the bigger storyline, guys, is, honestly, is this it for Mark Few? Could this be it? Could this be the final year for Mark Few, and he hands it over to Brian Michelson, their assistant? I could be. I mean, it really could be. Listen, I called the Tony Bennett one. I'm going to call my shot on Mark Few here and say I really do think there's a good chance that this is it for Mark Few, that he doesn't really want to do this in this climate anymore, and he looks at it and says, I'm not sure with the roster that I have that I think I can compete for Final Fours anymore. And you know what? I love fishing. I love playing pickleball. I want to win that elusive national title, but I don't think Mark Few, while he's driven by it, I don't think it's like sleepless nights for Mark Few to have to win a national title before he calls it a career. So, again, I could see it happening after this year.